Alrighty, February 29th, quick session recap here. Starting off with NQ. So NQ and ES today, quite similar as far as the structure that we were looking at coming into the session, really kind of working with the same levels that we have for the past few days. We wanted to see whether or not buyers were going to continue to defend this key area of support right through here, the 17,865 level of interest. As a reminder, if we go to that regular trading hours chart, what you're going to see right there is the big gap below, right? Big unfilled gap below. I had mentioned this morning that buyers were very, very interested in defending this gap, defending this area as an area of support. And that's exactly what we saw this morning. Responsive buyers stepping in, following PCE, following that pre-market data, price trading up into a known pivot, that near-term volume point of control, right? Essentially, we get into regular trading hours open. Very tough to chase this higher after you have such an extreme move during the pre-market session. So coming into the resistance zone, we want to wait. We want to see how it continues to develop. Price rolls over, no real movement here. You do have a bit of an opening drive trade, but again, you don't really want to be chasing that play. Let this consolidation, let this intraday range resolve. It resolves lower. You have some decent opportunities versus VWAP there versus the prior day high, but ultimately price develops an intraday downtrend. You can see the structure there resolving down into that prior day volume point of control and our 17,900 level of interest. If we take a look at the 5-minute chart here, you can see how well that prior day volume point of control and that 17,900 level of interest held as support pretty much once this gap was filled, once that overnight gap was filled. Now, again, responsive buyers really, really stepping in versus that 17,900 level of interest. Look at the volume. Massive volume comes in as price tests that area of support. And again, that marks the low for the session. Very similar to what we saw earlier this week. If you compare today's action to what we saw on Tuesday, you're going to notice a lot of similarities. If you did well on Tuesday, you most likely also did well today. Highly recommend studying the action from today, studying the action from Tuesday, because this type of action happens quite frequently. It's not an anomaly or anything like that. This is pretty common rotations within the market, and the better you understand this, the more profitable you're going to be, the more opportunities you're going to be able to catch. So price now trading up into the session highs. As far as what we're looking for tomorrow, it's pretty simple. Buyers were able to force that change in character here from this kind of past 4 or 5 sessions of downtrend. Now we want to see if they are able to show a continuation up through that 18,100 level. Now zooming out, this is going to be a key area, right? There's a potential daily breakout point. Right now, it's a known area of resistance. So we want to be cautious and see how price trades versus this 18,100 up into kind of that 18,115, 120 area. So this is going to be the daily pivot on watch for tomorrow in NQ, just slightly above what looks to be today's session high, depending on where we close here. A couple minutes till the close. Current session high is 18,086. So mostly interested in how price responds versus that 18,100 level for tomorrow's session. Buyers, of course, going to be attempting to force that daily breakout play. Now, ES a little bit different in terms of that bigger picture structure, but very similar in terms of what we saw today. Now, remember, ES did trigger that daily breakout last Thursday. So exactly a week ago, triggered that breakout. You have a failure to show follow through on Friday, and Friday actually printed that shooting star. So daily chart telling the story here, that shooting star, showing some exhaustion on that move higher. Essentially what we have is price in the near term, meaning the past 3, 4, 5 sessions, forming a downtrend, right? And that's kind of been the main watch for this week, that series of lower highs, as well as this key daily pivot here in the 50.66 area. Now, again, main watch this morning, like it was yesterday, is how price responds versus this daily pivot. Obviously, following PCE, we have that momentum move higher. That forces the change in character, meaning price trades up and through that most recent lower high. And very similar to what we saw in NQ, you don't want to be chasing this move higher, right? You have a bit of an opening drive, not really a trade that you want to be involved in. The risk to reward is just not worth it right there. So let the consolidation develop. Price rolls over. You get, again, very similar to NQ with that test of prior day high, that test of VWAP. Good opportunities through here for scalping, but ultimately could not break the intraday structure up through 50.95 and rolls over into our 50.75 level of interest and that prior day volume point of control. This totally fills the overnight gap that we saw going to the regular trading hours chart. You can see the gap higher. Price fills the gap again, down rotation, and then we get the bounce now back up into session highs. So phenomenal action today. A number of great opportunities depending on, what style you trade. There's going to be something for everyone today. Really a lot of good opportunities, some good two-way trading as well. As far as what we're going to be looking for tomorrow on ES, we want to see, very similar to NQ, kind of how this near-term range is going to develop. Right, we do have this downtrend, which has now shown that change in character. Buyers, again, showing their dominance in this tape. The main objective for buyers is to show this continuation move up through that 51.20. So that's going to be ES. I'll primarily be focused on how price trades versus today's high during tomorrow's session, knowing that this is a prior area of resistance, right? So we want to be cautious with how that reacts there early in the session. Now, as far as individual names, we do have AI. This is going to be a second day play. This was on watch today. Hit all three of the posted targets. Pretty nice action there. Looking for the second day tomorrow. Then we also have AMD daily breakout today into all-time highs. So looking for continuation move there in AMD tomorrow. And we also have SNOW. So SNOW post earnings, we did not have it in the list today just due to the location. Now gapped into daily support, held that 200 MA during the pre-market sesh. We want to see if there's any follow through to the upside. So another second day play there in SNOW. Overall, that's the list. Some great action today. If you haven't seen, I did post a trade review. We do have a new trade review tab in the Traders Think Tank, so go check that out. Definitely feel free to post your own trade reviews within that section if you want feedback or you want commentary, or if you just want to share with the team. That's what that section is for. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM in the Traders Think Tank. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning for the pre-market prep live stream. Have a great evening. Later.